Hello, Erie Phil. My name is Jonathan Moser, and I am your principal second of the Erie Philharmonic. I'm giving you a little taste of what our lives are like right now as we're in seclusion. And so I thought I'd do a little video on something that I'm learning to do on the side. Specifically, I'm working on bows right now and on rehairing them. Of course, bows have horsehair on them, and this horsehair can need to be replaced for lots of reasons. It can get dirty. You can use it for a while and they start to break, and so then they're uneven across the bow. Or they also can stretch, for example. If you over tighten your bow, or if the humidity changes a lot, you can have the hair stretch a lot. So there are a lot of reasons that a bow needs to be rehaired. I thought I would take you through the process. Hope you enjoy. All right, so here we have a student bow. Right now the bow is tightened all the way, so that means that the frog here is pulled all the way back. It's as far as it'll go. So when I loosen it, so if the humidity changes or anything like that, then this hair will not have enough tension to play. You want it to be about right there. You want it to be about that tension, maybe a little looser, but just about that tension when it's all the way loose. But if you notice, when I loosen this bow all the way, you'll see the frog is moving forward, moving this way. All right, so here, this is as loose as the bow goes. Now you can notice that the hair is hanging down quite loosely. There's a huge amount of extra hair. So this is the reason that this bow needs to be rehaired. The hair isn't particularly dirty, and it's not missing a bunch of hair. So other than the fact that it's really long, it would be in pretty good shape. So the first step in the process is to remove the old hair, and that's not very complicated. You just take a pair of scissors and cut the hair. I typically tie the hair into a little bit of a knot so it doesn't go all over the place when I want to throw it away. And then you just trim off the other end and all done. The next thing you do is to clean up the bow. So oftentimes students need little markers on their bow in order to let them know where the middle is, or balance points, or things like that. So we take that off because maybe the next student who gets this bow won't need that mark. Next thing we do is just clean off the stick, and that's pretty straightforward as well. Just use a little bit of a cleaner. This isn't what I would use on a wood bow, so a Pernambuco or Brazil wood. I wouldn't use this particular cleaner. There's a special cleaner that you use when you're using wood, but for fiberglass, just a little bit of cleaner. Orange clean works fine. Take off the frog. So this actually comes all the way out, and you just remove it, and then the frog can come off like this. There's a little track in here, and the frog slides back and forth in that track to tighten and loosen the bow, just like that. Now that the stick is nice and cleaned up, just set that there. And then I need to clean to get the hair out of the frog. There's a wedge right here. This is a wooden wedge, and I have to pry that out. Once I have most of the wood out, then this piece will come right off. It's called a ferrule. Wagon wheels have ferrules, and bows have ferrules. That comes off. Next I need to work to get the slide off. Here the slide is coming off. It comes right out. Next I need to get this wedge out. There's another wedge underneath here. Now I'm going to clean up this wood here. Next, I'm going to take the wedge out of the tip. The tip has a similar wedge. You have to lift the hair up in order to see it. And this one also has nice little marks on it, so hopefully I'll be able to reuse this wedge. If not, I have to carve a new wedge out of wood. So the next step is to polish up the silver parts on the frog, the ferrule and the back of the frog. I'll use a cloth here. Alright, next I'm going to need to cut a wedge in order to fit the shape of this tip. You can see the tip has a very interesting angles. First I look for a piece of wood that's going to fit over top of that. I have to thin this down to about 4 millimeters. That's about right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm not a master at this yet. I've only been doing it for a couple months. So this part will take some time. The gentleman who I studied with out in Cleveland can do this in about 5 or 6 cuts. Okay, the next thing to do is to cut the hair. Over here I have hanks of horsehair hanging from the ceiling. That's where I'll gather my horsehair from. Next I have to tie the knot that holds the hair. I have my special thread down here. Make it tight enough that you can't pull the knot off, but if you pull on the thread too tight, it'll snap. And there's your knot. And there's the knot. All tied and ready to go into the tip of the bow. Lift it up. I'm going to look at this. Now see, I think this is a little too long, so I'm going to take this and trim off the end of this hair because I made it a little too long. My wife is upstairs teaching lessons right now. wedge. It just slides down in there. It's supposed to slide in pretty easily. Yep, and it does. It's not. Can't put very much pressure in there because the tip will crack. Next up is an interesting process, including water, which is not something you would necessarily expect to use on a bow. At first, I want to make sure our hair is kind of combed down nicely like this. We're going to insert the hair into the bow holder over here. And we're just going to dip the hair in water. The hair responds interestingly when you get it wet, in that it will stretch it for a little while, but then it shrinks when you put some tension on it. So then we comb the hair out, just like, and it tends to be a little tangled, so have to be gentle with it because we don't want to break all the new hair that we just put on the bow. Next, I put my frog onto the bow all the way. Pinch the hair right around the back of the mortise. Mark the hair where I want the new knot to go. Alright, now the part that I tend to forget all the time, and that's to put the ferrule on. To put that on. I tend to get the silly thing all put together and then remember to put the ferrule on and have to take it apart. Now we're going to give this another comb. Alright, so this is all set. Now I just have to grab the screw, which I should. Just have to tighten the bow a little bit. In order for me to have room to put the slide on, because you don't want any of the hair to get in between this and where the track. All right, so we got that on. It's all set. Grab the ferrule, and get the ferrule down here and slide that on. Next is going to be to make sure the hair is fanned out nicely so that it's all even across the stick. Do that first. I have to create the wedge that goes down in here to spread the hair. It's a spreader wedge. And we use different kind of wood for that. I need my plane. A little dab of glue. A little dab of do ya. Now I use my spreader wedge, or my spreader tool, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what its official title is. Spread out the hair like this. Put the comb under here and bring it up to the head. It should make that nice kind of triangle at the top. You want it to be evenly thick. all spaced out. All right, that looks great. So then I just loosen this up, grab the wedge that I'd already created, slip that in behind the hair. I use my pushing tool to really get it in there. This. Just the act of pushing it down actually cuts off the edges of the wood around there. And then we tighten it up and let it dry. After it's had a chance to dry, you'll see it gets a little tighter here. At the tip, it's nice and even across that. This is a different bow. It's been drying for a little bit. When you loosen it, so I've got a few little hairs to clean up there, but this is at its loosest point, and you'll notice it's right up against the stick. So I hope you enjoyed spending a few minutes with me in my basement doing one of the things that I enjoy doing on the side. This is so very calming for me to work in this way. So I hope you all stay well, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully when our rescheduled concerts are. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.